monsoonal climate, yeah, monsoonal winds is the seasonal reversal property. In the winds, of course, China type also there is reversals of wind. Mediterranean climate also has reversals of wind. So more specific, it is the only climate of the monsoon specialty, the reversibility is complete reversal. The wind will undergo a transformation of southwest direction to the northeast direction. And the complete reversals of wind is categorized in which type of climate? Monsoon type of climate. And that is primarily due to the shifting of pressure belts. Obviously, the deflection and the nature of wind are modified through our jet streams, which was the recent discovery. Now, the initiate causating factor that is the shifting of pressure belts or shifting of your ITs season. In the term, maximum utilize monsoon mechanism. Okay, so the next first is your distribution. Where are monsoon type of climate distributed? Obviously, Indian subcontinent, we all know. That's because of the advancing monsoon and due to retreating monsoon, you can find monsoon type of climate in the northern Australia. But apart from these two regions, again, because of the same phenomena, that is shifting of ITCZ and the shifting of pressure belts, thereby inducing reversals of wind, primarily along the coastal regions in regions. In that, as we all know, the presence of Himalayas, the presence of Tibetan Plateau, and the presence of jet streams have completely modified the monsoon climate into a specific one. These are my true monsoons. Mother regions இருக்குது pseudo monsoon சொல்வாங்க. Pseudo monsoon விட ரொம்ப ஸ்பெசிபிக்கா அதுக்கு ஒரு செப்பரேட் டைப் ஆஃப் climate யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, that is tropical marine along the coastal margins of America, South America, Africa and your Australia. So these are all what? These are tropical marine type of climate, meaning seasonal reversals of wind. But we all know initially the mechanism and all. Indian Ocean is much more specific. Yeah, the northern part of Indian Ocean is not connected to the ocean waters. So intense heating of land will happen. Upon the reversals, something well enriched, well enhanced. So adanala adu tropical monsoon. Adhe madriyana climatic features, characteristics, but the less intensity. Endha feel aagum and matha regions la. So question perspective, prelims and mains, the difference there, even though we study club together, monsoon and tropical marine, primary difference in a complete reversals of wind. That is the characteristics of my monsoonal winds. Obviously, we have onshore wind as well as offshore wind. Onshore wind is a mostly onshore will give precipitation, offshore will give aridity. It will promote aridity. So distribution latitudinal extent 5 to 30. Reason in a northern hemisphere, even though 0 to 10 degree equatorial climate favorable in the distribution of land mass 10 degree south rainforest 5 degree northern hemisphere rainforest. So beyond that, we can very clearly say we will experience monsoon type of climate. Obviously, the temperatures and precipitation factors in that so-called equatorial type of climate, the average range of temperature would be high. Why? Because this is the season which experience a dry and a wet season. Unlike equatorial is completely wet. Throughout the year, it is wet. Our range of temperature is very, very minimum. Diurnal range, mean annual range. In that, equatorial average temperatures, range of temperatures are greatly variable. Rainfall plus 200 centimeters. 200 above centimeters of rainfall is equatorial. As here, the average rainfall is relatively less. Okay, and then double peak rainfall, meaning after every equinox or the maximum insolation period, we have a maximum rainfall period. That is here, most of the rainfall occurs during your summer season or through the process of advancing monsoon. Enniki monsoon irukko adha enoda rainy season avum maximum rainfall. Simple representation. Okay, so this is my summer season. During summer, what will happen? Low pressure is generated due to the shifting of my ITCZ. ITCZ shift agadnala enoda wind systems would be arising out. In that role of jet stream is very important. Role of jet stream. What happens to my subtropical westerly jet stream? Subtropical westerly jet stream would shift northwards, and your tropical easterly jet stream Okay, it will attain the position of more than 20 degree or above 10 degree towards your peninsular India, thereby deflecting the winds into southwesterly manner. Similarly, during winter season, my subtropical westerly jet stream bifurcates into two, right? And that would deflect the retreating monsoon. Ingandu pona monsoonal winds na retreat agu, again shifting of sub intertropical convergence zone in the southern hemisphere. Mechanism is a separate question. Climate oda padikumbodhu mechanism சேர்த்து ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கிறது better. Okay, those who have not attended the monsoon classes, make sure that you read through all your earlier notes or the video classes available. Okay, so monsoon mechanism may be simple understanding if you go. The part is select so first important causative factors, the presence of Himalayas and Tibetan plateau, thereby air advances and that particular air descends where? Descends in the Madagascar high. So this happens to be my high pressure zone and this happens to be my low pressure zone. If inga descend ஆன இந்த air தான் என்ன ஆகும்? என்னோட surface winds are transform ஆகுது due to the pressure difference created. In the pressure difference la important role Coriolis force, yes, deflection is because of Coriolis force, but here most of the deflection of the wind is primarily induced by my subtropical easterly jet stream, thereby making the winds largely southwesterly. Okay, so therefore this regions will experience what? In the low pressure da enna refer பண்ணுவோம் ITCZ அப்படிங்கிற term யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம் or monsoonal trough. மான்சூன் எழுதும்போது ITCZ or shifting அப்படிங்கிறத ரொம்ப ரொம்ப prominent, அது மிஸ் பண்ணிட கூடாது. And secondly, what happens during this is what during the phase of summer or during June. Next, the same phenomena happens, but here the subtropical westerly jet stream bifurcates into two, and the southern branch of the wind would deflect the particular winds in your northeasterly manner. And after crossing equator, obviously they would get deflected. That is why the northern part of Australia experiences monsoonal climate. India perspective, the summer monsoon is southwesterly in nature, and the winter monsoon is northeasterly in direction. Okay, in the context of India, this is known as your advancing monsoon, and this is your retreating monsoon. Majority of the monsoonal rainfall occurs in India during your advancing monsoon period because these are of onshore nature. This is offshore, land towards sea move. So when we look specifically India is all losing the soil moisture from the land towards the sea. So the rainfall distribution is less. Okay. So in the mechanism, all important theories are better. And that is the explanation given here with diagram. And what the so-called climates monsoon seasonal differentiation is very relevant. Seasonal differentiation, India aspect, there are 4 seasons. One is the summer season, the other one is rainy season, the other one is winter season. And rainy season, we can divide it into 2 aspects, that is your advancing monsoon and your retreating monsoon. India specific, we study each different climate, their characteristics, the nature and their distribution. We'll study relevant to India. Now, what is the tropical marine? Tropical marine, even though same latitude coastal climate, eastern margin coastal climate, The rainfall in this particular climate is much more evenly distributed than monsoon. Monsoon have a specific dry season and a specific wet season. There is tropical marine climate being in the coastal region. Trade, so-called land breeze, sea breeze, and modify climate. So we will get rainfall evenly distributed. Evenly distributed is different from rainfall throughout the year. என்ன சொல்றேன்னு புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியுதா? இதுல அந்த மேக்ஸிமம் மினிமம் அப்படிங்கிற கான்செப்ட் இருக்காது டிராபிக்கல் மரைன்ல. இது இந்த அளவுக்கு ஏன் ஸ்பெசிபிக்கா படிக்கணும்னா ப்ரிலிம்ஸ் ரெலவன்ஸ்ல தான். மெயின்ஸ் பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் என்னோட கிளாசிபிகேஷன் ஆஃப் கிளைமேட்னு ஜெனரிக் டேர்ம்ஸ்ல கொடுத்தாலும் கூட go for any of the classification given by all three. கோப்பன், தான்மையா, திரிவாதா. ஓகே, அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு மார்க் வரும். Already we have discussed the regions where such type of climate is found. The next question area UPSC's most favorite is the vegetation nature. Any climate you will stick on to the vegetation. You need to know why such type of forest is readily found. So natural vegetation na monsoonal climate oda major category illa varum. That is why deciduous trees. Okay. So normally deciduous na deciduous avada keyword normally. Need not necessary that monsoon nale deciduous ingra meaning varadu. Okay, there is wide range of forest here. The difference between equatorial and the so-called monsoonal forest is that they are relatively more open and less luxuriant. You know, sunlight and rainfall. Rendume equatorial vida konjam kammi da. And they have relatively fewer species. And the rich diversity, more species of trees available. They normally deciduous irukku illaya. Adukana innor terms, so-called monsoonal forest is also known by the name mixed forest. Monsoon type of climate experiences mixed forest type or mixed vegetation type. Meaning there can be find different variations. Irukudile maximum varieties of trees in perspectives la trees la enga paaka mudiyum monsoon la paaka mudiyum. Ipo monsoonal vegetation vida variations in all vegetation together அப்படினா that is your Mediterranean என்னோட thorn shrubs trees ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு varieties of layers இருக்கும். இங்க within the trees maximum variations கொடுக்கக்கூடிய forest எது monsoonal forest type. So these are drought deciduous. Why? Majority of Indian climate or majority of monsoon climate have a dry period also. To sustain the so-called climatic conditions, in forest type deciduous they are relatively dry forest or drought deciduous forest or dry deciduous forest. இது ரொம்ப ஜெனரலா என்ன சொல்லுவோம் tropical deciduous forest. இன்னொரு கீவேர்ட் என்ன broad leaved hardwood trees. இது எங்க பார்த்தோம் equatorial broad leaved trees னு வரோம்னா moist trees ஆ இருக்கும். Okay, moist vegetation. So இது எல்லாமே associated with the terminologies are associated with the monsoon vegetation. So obviously more open, less luxuriant sollumbodhu we can cultivate the lumbering activity here relatively more extent than equatorial. Okay, the next one is life and economy. Life and economy. Obviously tropical climate, tropical latitudes, energy surplus னு சொல்லும்போது population dominated sphere ஆ தான் இருக்கும். So population இருந்தாலே they have their food demands. So we have to go with what? We have to go with agriculture. So vegetation type ஆ இருந்தாலும் கூட clearing the forest and utilizing the land for agriculture is the common practice in your tropical lands. அதுல agriculture னு பாக்கும்போது there are two types of agriculture. One is shifting agriculture, relatively primitive nature, which can be also found in equatorial too. The second type is subsistence agriculture or intense subsistence agriculture, where we do farming, settled practice of cultivation. Crop variety, varied crops from rice, wheat, pulses, cotton, sugarcane. So water intensive crops, less intensive crops, fruits, vegetables, most varied type of agriculture is being practiced. The next question area is that cattle and sheep rearing. This is also practiced and this is also favors climate of Pathuna. Cattle and sheep rearing namakku favorable da, but we were never as advanced as in case of other temperate latitudes. New Zealand madriyo, Europe madriyo, dairy products liyo, irana meat production liyo, Argentina madriyo nammalaala yen andha alavukku idu potential use panna mudiyala. We are the most populous country, so food demands are much more greater. Rice meat and butter, it obviously rice. Yeah, staple food is rice and wheat for the tropical countries. Obviously climatic conditions favors this, but we are not potentially or commercially more advanced. Okay, that is because of the nature, societal nature, social constraint of India. Okay, region is highly developed. Yes, இது ஒரு ரொம்ப காமனான லைஃப் அண்ட் எக்கானமி.